Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. After a couple of weeks of no videos, I am back with this tiny little rechargeable washing machine that I stumbled upon online. I know I needed something like this, but I had no idea this item actually existed, and it's not very expensive either. It's just a little over 600 Philippine pesos with free shipping, so it's around 12 or 13 US dollars. The machine comes in two pieces, the base with the agitator and the cup, and it also came with its own USB-C charging cable. I've plugged it into my power bank to test if it charges okay, and it looks like it does because of the blinking red light on the power button. Here is the instruction manual in different languages. The English instructions sound very strange. I hope you can read it, but I can understand this very awkward English no problem. However, my question is, who is Auntie? Anyway, there are more instructions on this sticker placed above the power button, and when I did a long press, the agitator turned on. And I guess this is how the cup should be screwed on. The USB-C charging port is at the bottom, and when it's charging, it blinks red, but I decided to rinse out the cup a little bit at this point before continuing to charge it on top of my desk. Now, because of the placement of the charging port, clearly this device cannot be used while the charger is plugged in because it has to be charged upside down. Now, I forgot to time the charging and I kind of lost track, but it didn't really take long for the device to be fully charged. As you can see here, it has a steady blue light on the power button. I'm assuming that means it's fully charged. Now, I have placed some water into the cup about 3/4 of the way, and I just put in a little bit of laundry soap because I want to try washing these socks. I have already worn these, obviously, so these are technically dirty, but my socks never really get dirty. And by the way, I have each sock labeled with my name just so they won't get lost in the laundromat. But sometimes they do get lost in the laundromat, which is why I have started hand washing them. But that's kind of time consuming and not very fun to do. For labeling the socks, I just use this little stamp with my name and the little owl. It's a self-inking stamp and the ink is waterproof, but over time the ink gets washed off a bit, so I just restamp the socks as needed. Now, the instruction manual did warn me to screw the cup on tightly, and I thought I have already done that, but apparently it wasn't tight enough. The brim around the agitator is lined with silicone, so it should be a good enough water seal. I put some water and soap back in, and still some water seeped out, but on the third try, I finally screwed it in properly. Now, the instruction manual says there are two modes to this device, and the first mode is called daily washing, which runs for about 5 minutes. The other mode is for heavy washing, and I don't need that. So to activate the daily washing, I just needed to long press on the power button for 1 second, and it did turn on, but I have to warn you, this is very noisy. So this went counterclockwise for several seconds and then paused and then ran clockwise for several seconds and then paused and then went counterclockwise again and so on. And as you have seen from my watch, it started washing at 21:09 hours. So it should be over by about 21:14 or 21:15. But even at 21:17, it has not stopped yet. And I thought that was already too long, so I stopped the device manually by long pressing the power button. Now, there is a satisfying amount of suds in here, and the suds do not look bright white like they're supposed to, so obviously dirt did come off the socks. And because I screwed this on very tightly, it wasn't easy to unscrew, especially with my weak, broken right wrist. By the way, my vlog about that accident will be linked in the description box. I brought the cup to the bathroom and poured out everything and rinsed off the socks, which took less than a minute. And I wrung them out to dry. And here they are. I think they look clean enough. They're a light cool gray, not brownish, which is why I prefer gray socks over brown, because with gray socks, it's easy to see if the socks are still dirty. It looks like my label needs to be restamped, but if I don't take my socks to the laundromat anymore, I don't think labeling these would be necessary. Now, I just have to rinse the agitator in the bathroom, which was easy to do. I just gathered some water in my hand and then poured it over the agitator and over the brim here with the silicone lining, and the remaining suds came off quickly, and I will just leave these out here to air dry. I think this is a pretty neat device to have, and it's good for travel too. In one of the reviews for this, one girl said that she bought two, one for her undies and one for her socks. I think that is a great idea. This comes in 3 different colors, by the way, and I will list it down below. It's pretty useful for me. I like it. I just hope it doesn't break down quickly. And that is my little video for you today. Thanks for watching. Bye.